Welcome to the HR Happy Hour work break for a Wednesday. Just me today, Steve here with you. Trish is on the road. So I figured I'd jump on really quick with a couple of updates. First off, I have actually starting with some sad news. This is rough. You may have seen this in the news. The Boston Beer Company, the Massachusetts-based brewer, who you probably know better as the brewer of Sam Adams, which has been around for a long time, they announced plans to destroy, quote unquote, millions of cases of the hard seltzer brand Truly, rather than discount them or let them go stale on store shelves. They overbought, they overproduced the hard seltzer category itself, which blew up in the first year of pandemic, grew 165% in 2020. It's crashed in 2021 due to oversupply. There's too many brands in the market. If you've been in the store and probably seen dozens of types of hard seltzer that flooded the market. And also people are going back out, right? So the hard seltzer thing seemed to be a thing people drank at home, and they don't, when they go out to bars and restaurants, they don't typically order it. Happen to have a Truly here with me. Thankfully, was not destroyed. It's, you know what the heck? It's a little early in the day, but why not? We may not be able to get many more of these apparently, or they'll be tougher to get. So pour one out, or in my case, take a sip of Truly, and maybe the demise of hard seltzer, which I still kind of like. Okay, that's not bad at all. Speaking of pandemic, of course, vaccination news. I was reading today, actually just a few minutes ago, 2/3 of Americans have now had at least one shot of COVID-19 vaccination of all brands. That's 220 million people, and almost 80% of Americans over 18 have had at least one shot, which is pretty incredible. It's taken longer to get there than I guess we all had hoped, but we definitely are getting there. And I think a big part of this is what's happening with the corporations and organizations just requiring vaccination and or much more frequent testing in order for folks to return to work or continue to work. And it's important to employers, and because it's costly in many ways as well. United Airlines said in a court filing that unvaccinated pilots, didn't say how many of them there were, but the unvaccinated pilots are costing the airline about $3 million per month, because right now United has put them out on paid leave, while United and its pilots union are fighting out the requirement in court to be vaccinated. But one of the things United is saying is that it's not just that the unvaccinated pilots don't want to be told to get vaccinated. The vaccinated pilots, right, which is the majority of the pilots, they don't want to fly with their unvaccinated colleagues, right? And that's causing a lot of tension. And I could see that happening in other types of workplaces as well, where people need to work side by side or in really close proximity. I mean, what's closer than two pilots sitting next to each other in the cockpit of an airliner for 5 hours on a coast-to-coast flight, right? And so a couple more updates, though. Many more organizations, huge organizations, are installing these requirements. AT&T will require 150,000 unionized employees to be vaccinated. They have a February 1st of 2022. That's a pretty lenient deadline, but management employees have till October 11th. But that's a lot of folks, and probably several thousand folks who probably are going to get vaccinated, and maybe they wouldn't otherwise. And Boeing, another large employer, 125,000 employees requiring vaccination by December 18th, joining lots of other airline industry or air travel industry companies in there mandating vaccinations. And finally, the Australian Open, right? The first tennis major, right, of every calendar year. It's slated to be held in January of 2022. They are going to require players coming into Australia to play in that tournament to be vaccinated. There was some controversy about that, maybe some confusion, but now the state of Victoria, which is houses the city of Melbourne, where the event is played, requiring vaccinations for players as well. So we're getting there, right? I've been out a lot. I've traveled a little bit. I've gone to a few events. I've gone to a football game. I've gone to a concert. I've gone to a couple of restaurants. It does seem like we're just about back to normal, almost all the way, not quite all the way there, but we're getting there. And hopefully we're going to be that way really, really soon. A couple other quick updates. Hope you check out our new HR Happy Hour show that we just posted earlier this week with our guest Marcus Buckingham. It's all about some research that he co-authored with the folks at the ADP Research Institute on the Human Resources Experience Score and what really drives positive experiences with human resources and how that relates to the organization's talent brand. I don't want to spoil the show because I'd really love for you to listen to it or check out the research at adpri.org. But it was really interesting, the conclusions that they found about what drives a positive experience with human resources from an employee point of view, and specifically for technologists and people who are into HR technology like I am. And I wrote about this on Human Resource Executive as well. It's some counterintuitive stuff, right? We want to just throw technology at people and throw technology at problems to try to optimize our solutions. And it's maybe not always the right move. And Marcus does a great job diving into the research and helping you understand it a little bit as well. So I hope you check that out. Finally, I'll leave with this. Oh, two things. First of all, I don't understand Apple at all. Apple computers, Apple technology. I have an Apple laptop that I use for work primarily, and I just got it, I don't know, maybe less than a year ago. I have no other Apple gear at all. I have no iPads, no iPhones, no nothing, right? I'm an Android person. I've talked about that on the show. So somehow someone managed to, actually two people managed to send me, I guess it's an iMessage through the computer. And I literally had no idea that that was a thing that could work just on the computer. I only know iMessage is the thing on the phone. So two, I won't name names of these people because actually I'm not totally sure who one of them is. To the person who gave me an update on the SHRM conference that happened back in September and wanted to let me know how things were going at SHRM, thank you for sending that. I appreciate that. I just saw that. That was in September. And to the person whose name I do know, but I won't name them, who wanted to know if they could try to let me help them meet Abby Wambach backstage at HR Tech. I apologize. I just now saw that message, and I probably could have made that happen for you. I'm sad that I didn't, but I did not see the message as it was only on this laptop computer, which I wasn't sitting in front of that much during HR Tech. So apologies for that. Apple, I don't know what you're doing. Last thing, I made oatmeal this morning, and while I was reading the instructions on how to prepare said oatmeal, I had to cook it, and I'm not that great at that. On the box of oatmeal, it's McCann's Irish Oatmeal. I will leave you with their little Irish blessing that they put on the box of oatmeal, of all places. Here it is. May you have warm words on a cold evening, a full moon on a dark night, and the road downhill all the way to your door. That's it. All that sounds good to me. I hope you have a great rest of the day, great rest of the week, and we'll see you back here on Friday.